doing a word study on perceive and understanding what that means, connected to Isaiah 43:18, which says, remember not of the former things, not considering the things of old, but behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? I will make a way in the wilderness and the rivers in the desert. Continuing on to Isaiah 6:9, it says, keep on hearing, but do not understand. Keep on seeing, but do not perceive. This is more of a sombering reminder and a sobering experience to recognize that we can go about hearing and not understanding. We can go about seeing but not perceiving. And then lastly, obviously one of my favorites, Habakkuk 1:5, which is look at the nations and watch and be utterly amazed. For I am going to do something in your days that you would not believe, even if you were told. I think about what God is doing with his messengers in this hour. And if you didn't have an opportunity to tune in to last week's messenger movement playback, essentially I was sharing a recent share that I had done on a Sunday morning after a conference, and the sound's a little bit funky, so just deal with it, but listen to it. It was a prophetic message for something that is transpiring right now. And at the time, while I knew it was from the Father and I knew that it needed to be released that day, and I knew the heaviness and the weight of it, simultaneously, I could not perceive what was going to transpire and how those words being documented were profound and critical. And I process what was God doing with those particular people in that particular room for them to be recipients of the word and then to be able to go out and disseminate said word to others. We were talking about false idols. We were talking about word curses. We were talking about language and truly some of these false prophets and apostasy and things that are happening in the church on a consistent, regular basis, and how we then proactively show up as messengers to both destroy the lies, dismantle the enemy tactics, stop the fear mongering, and essentially with our mouths speak truth. But first, we have to hear and understand. We have to see and perceive. So I was getting a little bit giddy in the last couple of days with some things that have transpired that I was just perceiving God in as it was happening in real time, right? We talk about hindsight and forethought and all the things, but like being present is such a gift. And messengers of all sorts are combining and colliding and literally creating a space of truth for everyone at large simply by sharing their message and connecting together to come together, both in person, things like FounderCon, tables that are being set, conversations that are happening even virtually and digitally. And it's shaking the earth, you guys. It's shaking the atmosphere. It's shaking every element of cornerstone that the enemy thinks that they have as far as territory goes on our home fronts, on our children, on political systems, on even territory such as land. I mean, all the infrastructures are being shaken right now, and you're on the front line of that. And so when we think about being a messenger, what an honor, what a responsibility, but it doesn't have to be a weight if we have released that to the Lord, while also understanding that a mantle will always have an effect on how we operate. That does not mean that said mantle is meant to crush us. However, if the mantle is misplaced or misconstrued and then misused in a prideful manner, in an envy manner, in a lustful manner, anointing gets so tainted. And then sometimes people give God a bad rap, which that is also something that as a messenger, our mouths carry such weight when we are connecting it to Christ. And yes, no, we don't need to be the defender of Christ. Christ will defend us, but we have to be so mindful.